Welcome back, everybody. It is the last day of the weekly challenge of this little segment, and it's a spooky one because it is October 29th if you are watching this at a different time, but it is a time for spooky season because Halloween is just around the corner. I don't know if you guys are going trick-or-treating or what, but it's good to have you here. I want to see everybody over in that YouTube chat. Give me a big old hello and hi, and how's it going? We have Adara as our moderator. And then over on our Behance chat, we got a bunch of other people over here. We got Robert and Oliver and Alessandra. Good to see everybody here. Thank you for being here, as always. Annika saying, great stream to Izzy. Izzy was just live with Phil, and they had a really great time, and you guys should check it out. Annika plans on giving out candy, but we only have 30 minutes, so I can't spend too much time. We're just going to hop over to my screen. This is a program called After Effects. It is an Adobe program that helps you do motion graphics. Over the last 3 weeks, we have been working on animating some cool stuff. We have made a bat that moves around like this. We've made another bat that moves around like this. We made a cute little ghosty that looks like this. Sad little ghosty. And then we made a jack-o'-lantern the very first week that looked a little bit like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these wonderful things and we're going to put them all together in this fun graveyard scene, which will be a good old time. So we have all of these all set up. They should be in your project file that you have, but we need to bring them all together into a singular area. Oliver's not sure what kind of reaction he's going to get at trick-or-treating at 45. Kid at heart, also if you wear a mask and you just pretend to be a really tall, fifth grader, I think you should be fine. Adar's in the chat. Hi, good to see you. So I'm going to make a new composition by going to a new composition and pressing Control N and making it 1920 by 1080. And we can just go ahead and we can just plop some of our assets in here because we know that we want to bring everybody together. They're going to be all different sizes because we did not do a standardized size or anything. But that shouldn't be a problem. I'm just going to scale them down. You can click them and move them. But we can already see that our bat is going to disappear. So one way you can do this is you can either change the composition settings to change the background color if you wanted to. You could also go in and hit this little buddy down here, which is the toggle transparency tool. But we're going to do something better than that. We're going to go to layer, new, solid. You can also press Control Y if you want to do that. And we're going to hop over and we're just going to make it to a, should we make like a orange? Like a spooky red kind of. And we'll just go like that. And it's brown. You say, well, Ryan, that looks weird. Don't worry. Trust the process. Annika's saying that she could pass as a teenager, so she's good anyway. Adara over on YouTube is saying, hi, everyone. Hi, how's it going? Trying to get people over onto that YouTube. If you say hello on YouTube, it's better for the algorithm. So if you have a YouTube account, would love to see it, even if it's just for a moment. So I'm just using the pen tool here. You can get to the pen tool by going to G, and I'm clicking and dragging and making this little hill area. Hello, Clever. Welcome to the chat. And you can see that it's filled in with pink. We don't want that, so we're going to go over to our fill section. You can either go to the very top, or you can go over to the side. And you can just click that fill color. You can change it what you want. We're going to hit the eyedropper button, and we're going to hit this guy. And then we're going to go, and we're going to just bring it down to a darker feeling. Adar is over on the YouTube chat saying, haha, right, Ryan. Oliver's saying, hi with little wave hand. And that's why Adara and Oliver are my two favorite people. All right, so we have this fun little hill now. We're also going to want to create some sort of tree. So let's make a spooky tree. I'm going to actually make all the other guys little disappear, and I'm going to use that pen tool again, and we're just going to do a little click around. By the way, if you start going and you realize that there is no fill because you're accidentally making a mask, one, make sure you're not selected on a layer, but two, also there's these two little areas up here that have a star and a little star with the checkered box. The star with the checkered box is a mask maker. Oliver is on YouTube going, thanks, Oliver. To you, too. I'm just going to go ahead, make a fun little tree. Do you guys ever feel like you can't make trees look not fake? because I run into that all the time. I'm like, why would a tree ever look so pointy? How does the end of a branch look? But trust the process. Just create a few things. I feel like I made trees just like this for my Halloween special way back when, which we did not do this year again, which makes me super sad, but I'm a busy guy. I got lots going on. If you guys are around tomorrow, I would love to see you for Next Gen Day. Next Gen Day is the next generation of artists, meaning kids and adults that, are just entering the field into the workforce, and they are being kind enough to join us on Adobe Live. We've got a full day stacked, but don't worry, we still have File New, but I have Finn Evans on the stream, which is really fun. Finn Evans is an amazingly talented artist from New York, and he also does parkour, he does illustrations, he does comics, so we get along real great. We met a few times, and we also actually hung out at Adobe Max down in Miami just a few weeks ago, which was fun. So we're having him on. He's going to be walking through a little bit of Image Trace, the new Image Trace that just got announced at Max. But I also made sure that I don't know, I have to go over here, made sure that he has plenty of stuff to also share so that we can still do a File New. We'll be going over the font of the week. We'll be talking about some news, some resources. It's going to be really good. The whole day tomorrow is going to be actually 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific, which for the other East Coasters in the room is going to be 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock Eastern. And I hope that you show up. The File New show itself is actually scheduled for 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific. And if I'm wrong on that, don't quote me. So I'm going to go here and we're just going to finish out this tree. I'm just adding lots of dots. And I like to have the roots here because I feel like you can always see the roots in a spooky tree. But, there's no right or wrong way here. Just make a little spooky tree. So we have a nice tree here. If we decide that it looks too similar to the ground, we can either change the ground. Maybe we change the ground to something that is a little bit more gray or green even. So we can mess around with our color channels here. And then I'm going to go ahead and rename this into Hills. Save our work pressing Control S. Thank you, Oliver, for being in the Behance chat for saying 7 p.m. GMT. Clever is now my third favorite, but actually my first favorite now because she's the most recent person to say something over on YouTube. She says hello to all and all hail the algorithm. Oh, you can't say the A word. You can't say the algorithm. Only I can say the algorithm. It's great to have you over on YouTube. Thanks for being here. Oliver, resin violin attached to a window is fun and ghostly. Tell me more, Robert. Tell me more. Also, thank you, Adara, for posting the starter files again in the chat. Adara, tell us, when are you going to be live next? Adara, what can we see coming next from you? Actually, everyone in the chat. I want to hear what everyone's working on. Oh, and if you're not working on anything, that's fine. No pressure here. We're just looking for what you're going to be dressed up as Halloween. And if you aren't going to be anything for Halloween, you still got a little bit of time. So we now have at least a decent set. Maybe we can go into the circle and we can just make like a little spooky moon really quick. Just using the ellipse tool. If you want to get to the ellipse tool fast, you can always just hold down Q and you can hit it a few times. Bam, 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 bam. It changes all the color. Not all the colors. It changes all the shapes for you. So right now it's the polygon tool. We don't want that. We want it to be the ellipse tool. So I'm just going to hit Q a few more times. And now it is hunky-dory. It is the ellipse tool. So I made a circle, anchor points in the middle, and we're going to go to fill. And I'm just going to change it to a weird, like, yellowy thing that we have going on. But it still doesn't feel spooky enough. So you know what I want to do? I want to make some fog. So we're going to go to new composition, and we're going to go to 1920 by 1080 and create a new composition. It is all black. Now, before I hop into this, I do want to give a little bit of love over to our friend, Toby Productions, who created a really cool tutorial on YouTube about making fog, and I referenced it in the making of this weekly challenge, and so I want you guys to also feel that way. And just know that Toby Productions is T-O-B-I Productions. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new solid. Boom. Solid. Doesn't matter what color it is. It can be anything you want. Let's make it, just to make a point, let's make it like lime green, okay? because the reason it doesn't matter at all is we're going to go to our effects. If it's not there, you can go to Window, bring down to Effects and Presets, and we're going to add something called fractal noise. Fractal noise is a wonderful way to add texture. It's a wonderful way. Oops, sorry. Not that fractal. Let's generate fractal. There's many different fractals. We're going to go to fractal noise, which is under noise and grain. And it's going to make this funky looking thing. Now you can always mess with the evolution, you can mess with the scale, the size, and you can really keep it static if you want to, but for a lot of times you want to add texture, you want to add fog, you want to add something else. This is going to be a really great way to add that without having to leave the app at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up this contrast. It's at 100. We're going to bring it down to 75 so that it's not as sharp. And then we're also going to bring the complexity up to 20, which kind of also brings down that sharpness. And that's going to make it nice and blurry or so. We're then going to go to the evolution, and we want it to move as the clock moves forward. So we're going to press Alt, and we're going to click on that stopwatch. It's going to change it to red, which lets us know that it is now time to make a expression. Now, the expression that we're going to use is time, and then an asterisk times 100. You can change this time to whatever you want to. In this case, it's going to make it move like that. But, if you wanted it to be a little bit more jumpy or something, you could do like 6. And you can see that there is like a lot less going on. You could also make it like super chaotic and do 600 if you'd like. And then that's going to be like way too much. It almost looks like a pool. You could always change the tint and turn it into blue. It could turn into some sort of pool. But we're going to go back to the recommended 100. So now what we're going to do is we are going to change the offset to make the offset move while it is happening. So that's what's a cool thing about turbulent displace is if you are moving it around, it is seamless, which is really cool. So we're going to do the same thing where we hit Alt-click, and rather than doing time times 100 in this case, we need to tell the computer that we want to adjust the values. So I'm going to do an open bracket and write value. Then in the first bracket, we're going to say 0. And then after that, we're going to say plus that time times 100. Comma to say, all right, that's enough for the first value, and then the other value is a value, and then we're going to do a bracket with 1, and then another closed bracket, and that tells us that we don't really want to do anything with the second bracket. Now, when we play it, it will forever not only move, but it will also move from left to right forever entirely. No big deal. Now, you're like, Ryan, that's not going to look that great. It's just going to be whatever. Don't worry about it. What we can do here is while we're still in the transformation section, the scale right now is at 100. You can always mess around with how much you want it to be big or small, but we're going to turn off uniform scaling and actually only affect the width. And we're going to just stretch that puppy out, and it starts to look a little bit more, fogalicious, because fogs are way more wide than they are up and down. And over on YouTube, how we feeling? How we feeling over on YouTube? Because on Behance, we're having a party, but I'd love to see a party over on YouTube. I can already hear the notes from Adara for the mod chat. Ryan talked a lot about YouTube because we love YouTube, and YouTube's great. I'm going to create a mask on this green solid that we have. Remember when I said color does not matter? Guess what? I was right. I'm just going to go and create a random little shape. It doesn't have to be precious. I added too many points, to be honest, because I feel like it should just be something like this. We love YouTube, says Adara. Yes, Adara is kicking it over there. Pratyush says, ooh, ooh, which I really appreciate. Spooky ooze. Thank you, Clever, for the emojis. Thank you, Oliver, for the party. See, this is what I'm talking about. And also, thank you, Robert, so much for over on Behance going through a lot of the schedule for tomorrow, which is really nice. Got stuff with Annika's stream and Jeremy's stream. We've got lots of other stuff up in the pipeline. We're going to go over and we're going to add a turbulent displace to our mask here because we want to have it be a little bit more crazy. We're just going to add that. And then we're going to change the amount like up to like 180, but you'll notice that it's applying it to everything, whereas I kind of just want to see if we can apply that to the mask only. So give me a second. Turbulent displace. Can we add that into mask? Is that possible? Is that possible? I don't even know if that's possible. All right. Oops. That'll do it, won't it? So we're going to do that again. We're going to go over, we're going to turbulent displace, throw that on there. And then we're going to actually just bring up the complexity, because the complexity is going to be where we get a lot of that kind of like foggy fog vibes. And we're also going to change the size to be bigger or smaller, depending on what your preference is. And in this case, we're going to bring it all the way down to 20. And then you can see now it just looks like a static moving hill that has like craziness on here. And so what we're going to do is we are going to do the offset for the turbulence. And you can either alt-click and we can do the same expression again. Or if we're feeling fancy, what I like to do even is you can even add a little check mark. That way it knows. But if you press E twice, it's going to bring up your expression panels. So you can actually even get rid of that. And you can drag this offset turbulence, and you're going to link that to the offset turbulence where we already did the value 0 plus times 100 value 1. And it will give the same exact thing. And then you'll see that it's kind of like moving up and down. It feels a little bit crazier, but it's still too crisp. It's too crisp. So we're going to go over to add a fast box blur. And we're going to add that on top of here. We're going to bring up the blur radius. It's nice to bring this all the way to the top so that it affects all of the stuff below it. And we can bring that up. Oops. But you'll see it's starting to mess with this. So maybe this actually is where we change the solid. Maybe something that's like a little bit more like white or something and foggy. And then we're going to then go to make the radius like really big. And then we're going to bring the iterations up a lot too. That way you can see it has like layers to it. So it feels like it's a little bit more, has more depth to it. Finally, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to just put in a Gaussian blur. And we're going to take the Gaussian blur and it'll add it to the bottom. And you can bring that up and down to your liking. And then you can just take this and we're going to add this to our other thing. We're going to save our work. We're going to change that comp from comp 2 over to fog. We're going to go back to comp 1. Going to rename comp 1 to be graveyard. Greetings from London, England. Hey, Ray, what's going on over on Behance? If you'd love to join us, we're having a huge party over on YouTube. I'm just adding the fog here. You'll see that the colors are there, but what we could do is we can change the mode over to like a hard light, or, you know, this is really going to be focused on whatever you want to. Ooh, it could maybe be a sky situation rather than a fog situation. So like, what if we like take the rotation and we do 180 and we bring that down? Oh, boys and girls. And then I'm going to move this like way forward. And then we're going to bring back down the fog. And then here we can change this to like, not lighten, add, maybe colored, not colored dodge is too much like the other one. We could do, I'm just like cycling through these bad boys because it's always going to be different depending on what you're doing. And I think we're going to end up with maybe add. And then I'm going to add T. I'm going to bring this down. Ooh, is it weird that the top one goes the wrong way? So maybe we need to do a transform scale. And we're going to turn this off. We're going to change the width to 100, negative 100. And then that way it feels a little bit more crazy here. Then we are going to go bring our friends back. Hey, friends, what's going on, everybody? We're going to bring our jack-o'-lantern. We'll put him down by the base. We're going to take our ghost. We're noticing our ghost is a little clipped at the top. So maybe we want to go into our composition And we're going to go advanced and hold the bottom down. So that we're saying come up from the bottom. And we're just going to increase that height ever so slightly. But we can see that maybe it's still within this. Where are you at? It's under this fake 3D layer. So we're going to have to go composition, bring it from the bottom, and just bring up that height just a bit. When we go back to ghost, it's going to be a little adjusted. Everything is crazy. So we're just going to make sure that with everything highlighted, we move it all back up. Looks like fake 3D is also used here. So we're going to highlight everything, move that back up. And you know what? It still has a little clip. So what we're going to do here instead, in a last ditch effort, is we are going to find that glowy boy, which maybe it's just on here. No. Thing is, I wasn't noticing it before. 3D. And we can just mask if we want. We can always use a mask. Masks are always your friend. So I just make little ellipse. And then I'm going to just change this to be feathered. And look, it fixes it. No, it doesn't. So let's just make that invisible for now. There we go. All right. Gonna move you down here. And then we're gonna make our bats move. We're gonna go to our time, enable time remapping, alt click, loop out forever. Loop out forever, dude. All right. It's flying. And then we're gonna rotate. And we'll make this fly. I'm doing a position keyframe, going forward, and making it fly. You can then also adjust these handles so that it's not a fully straight line, you know. And maybe we make this one fly the other direction at a different time so that it feels a little bit more organic. I'm going to say position, go forward, position again. And we're going to do the same thing here where we hold down the thing. And we switch. Look at them fly around. All right. Although we said this was a graveyard and I don't have a single grave. So let's quickly redo these. I skip Halloween and go directly to Christmas, but I might have to reconsider since these are so cute. I know. Halloween is only growing in popularity and I'm very excited about it. I made a little gravestone over here. We're going to want to put everything at the bottom below fog because we don't want that to stand out too much. So let's bring that down some more. And they don't have to be perfect because they're wonky little gravestones, you know. Let's do another one right here. And you'll notice that there is super saturated again because it's all the way up. So we're going to press Control, Shift, left bracket, and that'll fix that. We'll do one more. If I select down here, then it'll be sure to stay. Let's go like this, like that. We're going to quickly add one more hill just to add a little bit more depth. Ryan, you're running out of time. Hey, I'm like Bob Ross, baby. We're going to finish this out. It's going to be great. We're going to put that all the way in the back, but we're going to change it to be a lighter color so that we can still see it. And then it doesn't look cohesive enough, so we're going to just go to Layer, New, Adjustment Layer, and you can go to Tint, and you can add Tint here. You'll see that it changes this to just 2 colors. We're going to add a little bit of orange to absolutely everything, but map our black to that. And then all you have to do is bring down this opacity down to something like 15, and you look at before and after, and it just gives a nice little tint to everything. And then look, we have a spooky little Halloween scene, everybody, and we did it in 25 minutes. Misty says that it is a day before their birthday, so happy birthday in advance. Everyone say happy birthday to Misty in the chat, please. Or maybe she's talking about December 5th, which in that case it's a month early. But you know, it's never too early. Thank you guys so much for joining me on a weekly challenge. We have my ghost, we have my skeleton with and bats here. I hope you're doing your part to stay Halloweeny. Stay tuned for another fantastic weekly challenge. It'll also be, I believe, Phil's last one. My name's Ryan Selvy. Follow me on Blue Sky at ryanselvy.com and follow me on Instagram as ryanselvy.com. See you tomorrow on File New. Stick around. Thanks for being in the chat, both YouTube behance, and I'll see y'all real soon. Keep it real. Bye.